All right, guys, one of the worst areas of football performance that I think there is, and in this area I've spent so many years wasting my time and my effort, and that is core training. This idea of a core. Now, at a surface level, most footballers just think of the six-pack abs as a core. Well, the core includes the psoas muscles, it includes the obliques, and frankly, it does include your spine, which is a very important part of your body. If you don't have that, you won't last very long on the pitch. And so when the topic of core training comes up, most footballers immediately go to this idea of doing planks, doing sit-ups, doing crunches. And that might even turn into doing some kind of things on the pull-up bar where you're moving your feet. And there's like scissors where you're on the ground moving your legs. There's tons of different forms of core training, but they're basically all the same. And basically what it is just forcing your muscles in your abdomen, your abs, to contract by doing a shortening, by just hunching over like this. Because if you're on the ground doing like a crunch, all you're doing is you're just going like this, right? And number one, is that a good posture to have in your life on the pitch or just walking around? This? No, that's not a good way to hold yourself. And that's not how even the abs work when you're running. Because if you didn't know, there's fascia. Fascia is a web-like tissue, like sponge, that kind of connects everything in your body from head to toe. And when you're running and your foot lands, there is supposed to be a fascial connection running from the plantar fascia under your foot all the way up to your core, your abdomen. And that's supposed to all engage in one holistic manner, in one system that's integrated. When you train your core in kind of the mainstream way by isolating and targeting these 6 abdomen muscles, or 8 for some guys, that's not related to walking or running, because the functionality is totally different. And that's why when you do lots of normal core training, the following morning you wake up and you feel this kind of heavy, isolated soreness in your abs. And like, I get it, like with the grinder mentality, you think that's progress, but really it's just you wasting your time and your effort. A true core connection feels different. It feels thinner, it feels more holistic. It feels like a big spider web underneath your skin. And in Eastern Tai Chi and Qigong and these other things, they had this idea of an iron shirt. And basically, all that is like a metaphor to how your abs should feel. It should be a thin layer of very strongly tight-knitted fascial connections running above and under the actual abdomen muscles. It's not just these like boom, 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 boom like you see on the front of magazines. And so doing a plank or doing crunches, so for one, the crunches again, this is not a good posture. Hunching over your head, all it is forcing the abdomen to contract so that you feel a burn. But that doesn't like make your core work better for running. It actually makes it worse. Secondly, planks. These kind of exercises, all it is just core bracing. It's stiffening. It's tightening up like this to force some contraction. But funniest thing, if you notice across the football world over the last 5-10 years, there are tons of more players having hernias, which sadly they operate on with surgery, which is usually caused by excessive core bracing and creating these issues down around your sexual organs. So there's multiple things that we just covered, but on the planks and the core bracing, this core bracing is really beneficial if you want to lift a lot of weight on your shoulders doing like a barbell back squat, because you need to brace your core to protect your spine from the weight on your shoulders. If you don't do that, you might be vulnerable to collapsing under the weight of the barbell, which is not good. But for performance, for running, for you being a footballer, that is not beneficial for you. You bracing your core, like, you don't run like this, right? With your core really braced. You don't run like that. No pro player runs like that. Only really robotic guys that have been in the gym for a long time, that maybe lie to themselves thinking they're footballers, run like that, because they've done years of planks and crunches and back squatting and front squatting and deadlifting, and they've created such excessive tension in their abdomen to help them lift more weight, but really that just makes them run worse, because if your core is braced like this, you can't shoot correctly, you can't pass correctly, because there's none of this flexion going on when you kick or when you run or you dribble or you make a tackle or even you jump. When you jump up, if your core is braced, imagine trying to jump up with your core braced. It's like, you have to have some elasticity, some flexion and extension to create some of that force production, all right? So I've covered quite a few reasons why normal core training does not make you a better footballer and actually makes you a worse footballer, and long-term can cause injuries like hernias, which sadly the mainstream uses surgeries to fix, which can be fixed with just some basic myofascial release and helping you pandiculate away the excessive core tension you've built up doing some of that mainstream training. So from here, I'm sure your question is, okay, Taylor, I believe you, but what do you do to create a stronger core? Great question. Well, the thing you don't do is isolate and try to strengthen your core, because that phrase actually means nothing. What does strengthen mean? In the mainstream, it means just to contract your abs over and over again so they have the appearance of being bigger. Now, bigger does not mean strength if you didn't know. So I just wanted to dispel that myth quickly, and we can get back to what we're actually talking about. How do you create better core strength so that you can be like this, have the ball here, have a guy hit you here, you know, trying to take the ball off you, and actually have the foot to core to shoulder strength in one unison to absorb that force and propel it back onto him so that he bounces off of you as opposed to you bouncing that way and he takes the ball. That is why in my system we train the 3 catalysts: the feet, the hands, and the tongue. These are your 3 connections to the whole system of fascia across your body. And if you didn't realize, in the middle of all those 3 catalysts, the tongue, the hands, and the feet, is your abdomen. It's the middle, it's the connection point, it's the meeting point, it is the epicenter of functionality, and is actually the first thing that is created when you're an embryo in your mother's stomach. This idea of a midline, of the connection from your tongue to your anus, it's this middle part. So what we do is we train the tongue, the hands, and the feet from a fascial perspective. And once you make enough progress building those connections via your fascial system, you create some abdomen connections, some core connections, and you create true holistic core strength, which actually translates to your running, to your passing, to your dribbling, to every single athletic action pattern there is in our sport, and frankly, any sport. Even tennis, doing this, the abdomen is not braced. How, like, imagine doing a tennis swing or a baseball swing or a throw with a braced core. It's the opposite of what you need to execute the action pattern. All right, so hope this video helped you guys. Any questions down below, drop them in there and I'll make a video and we can talk about the truth about core training. Hope this video dispelled some myths and some nonsense that you've heard from coaches, scouts, agents, whatever. There's lots of guys in the football industry that have zero idea how the body works, and they're just repeating the same nonsense they heard their coach say when they were kids. Just because some coach said it doesn't mean it's true. Use your own eyes and think for yourself and relate everything back to nature, because in nature there is no lie. There is nothing that is false will survive in nature. The only things that are in nature have been proven to work over thousands of years. So that's why they're fundamental laws of nature. Hope it helps, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Down below, I have 2 links for my free newsletter and my free assessment. If you're a footballer looking to go pro, become better, fix injuries, those are the places to start for you. If you're already a pro, send me an email at taylor@footballentangled.com and we'll talk about how we can transform your career and create a world-class legacy on and off the pitch. See you very soon.